Prime Minister Honourable Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips has commended the resilience demonstrated by the relatives and friends of the 11 Lusignan villagers who lost their lives during a massacre committed there 13 years ago. During a night of reflection held to honour the victims and to demonstrate support for the survivors, the Prime Minister said the government is committed to ensuring that such an incident never reoccurs in Guyana.
We are all reminded of these dark times. Not to dwell on them, but to be guided by the lessons learned as a nation and as a government. That such a time, as you heard before, such a time must never reoccur. It must not happen again. And that is our commitment. That all our efforts and our resources must be focused towards ensuring that our citizens must never again live in the fear that has been cast over this country during that era.
PM Phillips said although it was a colossal cost, the event gives everyone an enduring warning to be proactive and to remain vigilant so that the nation and its people are always protected.
Even as we protect you, our citizens, our unity as a people must accompany those efforts. Strife and interpersonal confrontations must be set aside so that we can focus our energies on healing. But it is not just healing that we need. We must build. We must build this nation on the foundation of these painful but sturdy lessons. Lessons that will guide us on how not to repeat those mistakes.
The Prime Minister was joined by several of his cabinet colleagues, representatives of the Ethnic Relations Commission, family, friends and residents of Lusignan. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, the Honourable Mohamed Anil Nandlal, said the event has scarred the psyche of the nation permanently. He called for introspection and reflection to see whether, if as a society we've learned any valuable lessons from the incident.
How else can we pay respect and homage to those who perished under such circumstances, if at least as a society, as a people, we don't do that which is necessary to ensure against a recurrence? And have we done that as a society? Not a single person who was responsible, who committed the act, neither were the intellectual authors convicted by our legal system.
AG Nandlal called on everyone to take up the mantle of rehabilitation, reform and introspection and do all that is necessary to mould Guyana into a cohesive society. Meanwhile, Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgell, in his capacity as former chairman of the Ethnic Relations Commission, urged Guyanese to foster peace and unity among themselves. Minister within the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, the Honourable Anand Prasad, encouraged citizens to be more vigilant and to be their brother's keeper. He also called on citizens in all villages across the country to form themselves into policing groups. On Saturday, January 26, 2008, gunmen stormed into the village of Lusignan and murdered 11 people, including 5 children. They are 48-year-old Clarence Thomas, 12-year-old Vanessa Thomas, 11-year-old Ron Thomas, 32-year-old Mohandan Gurdat, 10-year-old Siko Paul Harilal, 4-year-old Siko bin Harilal, 52-year-old Danwaji Ram Singh, 11-year-old Arewati Ram Singh, 56-year-old Sicharan Ruplal, 22-year-old Shazam Mohammed, and 52-year-old Salim Bash. Several of the children were murdered in their sleep. The memorial was hosted by the Indian Action Committee at the Lusignan Massacre Memorial Arch, which was erected in memory of those killed in 2008.